Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. My name is Carly Jones, and I'm an employment attorney at the Manifest Justice Law Corporation. Today, we are going to deviate. We're going to deviate a little bit from what we usually talk about here on the channel. Instead of answering an employment law question today, I am going to answer a question that I want to answer. I'm posing a question to myself here on the channel to answer here on the channel for all of you so you can hear my answer because I think it's important to talk about. It's actually a much bigger topic that's relevant to our society and our country and our whole world actually today. And it goes beyond the scope of employment law, although it does apply to employment law. So I want to answer the question, why are we not on TikTok? Why do we not post on TikTok? First and foremost, you can find us on YouTube. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook. We're not on Snapchat, but we are on Threads and baby on LinkedIn. Barely, I think there's like one or two posts on LinkedIn. So we may be posting a little bit more on LinkedIn in the future, but we're on plenty of social platforms, okay? But why are we not on TikTok? If you're really trying to be online and get a lot of people's attention, TikTok is pretty much where it's at. For us millennials, TikTok is the new Instagram, which was the new Facebook, which was the new MySpace. I am a millennial, so I grew up in the day and age where social media came to the forefront and grew up. I was in that age group of people who had to learn that there actually were limitations and speech limitations on these social media platforms, and you can get in trouble for the things that you do say and post online. And so the conversation about like cybersecurity and privacy online is something that has been important to me since I was at least 14 years old. Which was the first time I got in trouble for something that I posted online. Even outside of that 14-year-old self, I think that the importance that social media plays or privacy rights play in our country, in our life, and in our world, literally, today is way different from what it meant in the early 2000s or mid 2000s when we were just learning about social media and all it can do for good and for bad. I was for sure on MySpace. I had the top 8, top 5, top 4. I had all the variations. I had music on my profile. Like I was on MySpace. I was on Facebook. I was not as active on Facebook as I was on MySpace, but I was on Facebook. And then Instagram came out and I became even more involved with Instagram than I was with either Facebook or MySpace, let's be honest. And then as life happens, we all share a lot and then life happens and we're like, "Oh, yeah, no, I was humbled. Let me share less." And it just varies. And during the pandemic, obviously, TikTok became a huge social media platform. I dabbled in a little bit, so I'm not like completely TikTok ignorant, but it's just I personally was like, "Why am I gonna expose myself to another social media platform and just get like further addicted to my phone and being online? I don't need it." But then starting up this channel to give employment law information and legal information, I thought about TikTok a lot, but when I was starting this channel, and kinda opening up the law firm was right when all of the changes for TikTok ownership was happening. The owners of TikTok changed, and even more detrimental was their policies started changing. And so the main reason that I'm not on TikTok today is because of their privacy settings. I do not have the TikTok privacy policy pulled up on my computer right now and available. I'm not going to read it verbatim, but I do have some notes of some of things that like deeply concerned me from it. So some of the things that the new TikTok privacy policy says these social media platforms by having different policies in place and you continuing to engage with, use, have downloaded on your phone these different apps is basically you saying, I consent. I agree to the terms that you've put out, right? Like we all know this terms and conditions box that we all check and all that small little language that very few of us actually read. But as young lawyer, I was like, what are we doing here? Let me read it. And so I don't have the whole full TikTok policy pulled up on my computer right now to like read through it with you, but I do have notes. And some of the things that concern me, the amount of information that TikTok in their privacy policy is saying, like, we're going to collect this, the amount of information completely shatters, obliterates, and like erases any sense of privacy that you think you have. TikTok, if you're unaware, is collecting your email address, your phone numbers, the content that you upload, and not just they don't just have the content that you upload, they own it. You don't even own the content that you upload anymore. And they said that they own like your voice, your likeness, your image. So when you upload content to TikTok, not only are you giving that content to TikTok for ownership, but you're also saying if you want to use this content that I've just uploaded and you want to manipulate it in any way, and you want to use AI to manipulate this video and edit it so that I'm saying something in this video that I actually didn't originally say, but you've manipulated it. So now I'm saying these things. That's fine, TikTok. You can go ahead and do that. TikTok is collecting information about your keystroke patterns, your battery levels, your audio settings, your mobile carrier, your sexual orientation, your gender identity, your romantic partners, and everything, all of the same information on anyone in your phone who you're in contact with, the ways that you consume data, the types of browsing activity that you engage in, the time that you spend watching various posts, the searches that you do, the apps that you have downloaded on your phone, all of your file names, file types, and location of the files, where they were taken. So, like if you take a picture and you upload it then to your phone or your computer, and then you use TikTok, TikTok now has access to all of the locations where you took all of those photos. And it's basically just taking everything about your life that it can from your phone. And as we know, like most of us are highly addicted to our phones and to our tech devices. If TikTok has access to everything on your phone or your technology device, then it essentially has everything on you. And while I understand that most social media platforms are doing this anyway, like social media platforms, like search engine platforms, our email, like our phone carriers, our internet carriers, most companies are doing this, right? Most companies are collecting the most amount of information on its users as the company is legally allowed to do. The problem, it doesn't have any guardrails right now. So there are really no protections in regards to AI. There's no recourse if someone uses AI to create revenge porn off of you. If someone uses AI to manipulate what you're saying and what you're doing, how you look, the opinions you hold, there's really no protections that exist right as of now in the law, federally speaking, and on state levels. Some certain states are starting to slowly implement very small protections and guardrails, but very small, because again, they will be challenged on a federal level, and federally speaking, we have no protections. So I know that it's a norm in our society that this is happening, but the problem with allowing this to continue happening, and TikTok's privacy policy is unlike any other platform. It expands the amount of information that a company is taking from the users. TikTok takes the most amount of information from its users, and it also has the broadest privacy policy that again says we can also repurpose any of this material for our own use, however we see fit. So the problem with allowing those small progressions and expansions in the obliteration of our privacy rights is that, again, we have no expectation of privacy. We have no expectation of privacy. Our society won't function the way it traditionally has functioned if we, as a society, as a country, as a world, if we have no expectation of privacy because the technological advancement is just so great that we just no longer have privacy. That's a very dangerous, slippery slope to go down and even begin playing with. If we have no privacy rights, that means so many things. That means so many bad things. That means our right to our own property will eventually be obliterated. That means our right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures will be obliterated. It's already being obliterated, but it'll be further obliterated. That means that George Orwellian 1984 book is going to come true. And if you haven't read 1984, I know it's banned in most places now. Within the past 5 years, it's been banned from multiple states. But if you can get your hands on that book and read it, we should do like a little book club. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in a book club. We could do a book club here and reread 1984 to just further understand what happens when we have no privacy. When we have no privacy, we have, again, no right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. We have no right to property, to our homes, which we own, to our phones, which we think we own. We have no right to privacy. We are students, kids, people who are in schools. They have no right to privacy, no right to have their own backpacks, their own lockers, no right to unreasonable seizures. We have no freedom of speech. We have no freedom of thought. We have no freedom of difference or opinions, or like we have no freedom if we have no privacy. We have no freedom if we have no right to privacy. Having a right to privacy and having that right be violated is very different than not having the right at all. The short answer is we're not on TikTok because of the horrific privacy policy that TikTok enforces on its users. That's why we're not on TikTok, and I'm making this video basically encouraging everyone to get off of TikTok or to at least read and understand the privacy policy and then like think about what the implications of that kind of privacy policy will be. What if our phone carriers all implemented those same policies? What if our cable and our internet also implemented those same privacy policies as TikTok? What if your landlord implemented the same privacy policy as TikTok? And why do you think that TikTok isn't your landlord? Just because it's technically not your landlord, why do you think that it wouldn't impact your home and your living situation? It easily could. Again, with no privacy, and with the ability for this company to take your video, your voice, your image, and completely spin it and use it however they want to. They could make a video of you cussing out your landlord, saying everything bad about your landlord and his brothers, cousins, mothers, and everything about him. It's a really scary time to be alive. It's a really scary time to be on the internet. So I wanted to make a video and talk about it. But I don't want to just make a video and like scare people into the fucking obliterate and into like oblivion. I don't want to scare people into oblivion. That's not why I made this video. So let's end it on something a little bit more positive. Even though there are virtually no guardrails for AI and technology advancement, and even though one of the top AI companies, Anthropic, is even warning about the advancement of AI and saying we need to have a global halt because it's going to fucking tear us apart. Even in spite of those facts, there's still good news. There's still good things to hold on to, regardless of how you feel politically speaking. Personally, I'm registered as an independent. I'm not registered as a Democrat or a Republican, and I vote for like freedom for humanity's sake and for like social progress. Whatever political party is going to do that, which is typically, traditionally, historically speaking, the Democratic Party, that's who I'm voting towards. But regardless of how you feel, regardless of which party you're affiliated with politically speaking, I want to highlight the efforts of Bernie Sanders. I personally be feeling the burn until I die. I think that's the time where I switched from being a Democrat to an independent, because let's not talk about Hillary fucking Clinton and the Clintons in general. Let's don't get me started. Don't get me started. But I will highlight that Bernie Sanders is fucking killing the game, and he is out there fighting for AI reform. It's the first AI reform that I've ever seen pitched in this country that is like substantive and I think will actually make a difference and help people more than it will help companies. So I am for this legislation. I hope it passes. I have some notes I'll be looking over, but Bernie Sanders is introducing the American AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. Look it up. The American AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. And I am so fucking in support of this legislation. What this will do, if passed, this would be a one-time 50% tax on the stock of all AI companies. And the argument is basically saying that AI is like built on, reads, like reproduces, uses, and like is founded upon the knowledge of the collective knowledge of humanity, right? It can tell you the laws which were created by human. It can talk to you about books which were written by humans. It can write you an email to a human previously written by humans. It was coded by humans. It is literally formed by humans, and it is based off of the collective knowledge of humanity. And so you cannot just take from people collectively and say like, "Oops, sorry." Forget all of the like copyright issues, forget all of the trademark issues, forget all of the IP, intellectual property issues that exist here. We're just AI, and so we can do that. Bernie Sanders is like, no, the fuck you can't. The basic law says that you cannot take someone else's work as your own and repurpose it as your own. That's just, again, like that's basic intellectual property law. You can't take other people's work and you can't steal what other people came up with. Bernie Sanders is basically trying to pass legislation that will tax all AI companies and give that money to the people. It will give all the money to the people and say, likely, the people are owed money because AI is copying our work. It's taking the learnings from humanity, the experience, knowledge, artwork, information that humans has collectively come up with, and it's stealing it and regurgitating it. So there needs to be some kind of payment. Again, in intellectual property law, if I were to start giving you all a live, free a cappella Beyonce concert from my own mouth, I would probably be well, Beyonce would probably never see it, but if she did, her and her team would probably send me some kind of a cease and desist and some kind of a like copyright infringement. YouTube as a platform may not even allow me to post the live concert from my verbal mouth because they would be knowing you are stealing Beyonce's music. And we can say this for Beyonce or Justin Bieber or Sabrina Carpenter or any artist, like pick your artist, fill in the blank. The point is I couldn't, even on YouTube, I can't just reuse someone else's materials and say it as my own. So why can AI do it? So I love this legislation that Bernie Sanders is advocating for and trying to get signatures for and is trying to get passed. Hopefully it passes. If it passes again, then we as Americans will have a little bit of a payout and we'll be able to be compensated for all that AI is taking from us. And that's not even talking about like the environmental impact, the social impact, the learning impact, the psychological, like there's so many other ways that AI is taking from us, we the people. But I think that this American AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act is a great first step for trying to regulate this field, which is like seemingly getting out of control. And again, is really setting us up for like a world without any kind of privacy. And a world without any kind of privacy is a world without any kind of freedom. And that's really not a world that I want to live in personally. It's not a world I want any of you all to live in either. So I love this. Shout out to Bernie Sanders. No shout outs to TikTok. No shout outs to their horrible, egregious, earth shattering, society defining, horrific privacy policy. I'll also take this moment to shout out the AI doc. The AI documentary is newly out. It's on Peacock. And I'm sure it's available on other platforms, but I am watching it. I've watched it multiple times now on Peacock, and it is fantastic. And yeah, let's keep talking about AI because clearly, at least right now, it's not going anywhere. And there are ways to use it that can be helpful. And that again, it's not going anywhere. So there are ways I advocate using AI, and there's a lot of ways I advocate to not use AI. And via social media, it's one of those ways. Okay, yeah, this still feels like it was pretty depressing video, but rethink your TikTok. Rethink your TikTok and delete the app. Delete the app. Delete the app. That's all I have for you. Hopefully this was informative. Hopefully this was empowering, and hopefully it does help you get paid. Hopefully everyone goes and researches this American AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act, and we all like jump on board and we do this huge advocacy effort together collectively and we get paid. So hopefully this video helps get us all paid from the AI companies who are stealing from us, robbing us in broad daylight with no uncertain terms. So hopefully it was informative. Hopefully it was empowering. Hopefully it helps us all get paid. And yeah, this really didn't have too much to do with work, but everyone does work and not everyone is safe at work. And hopefully this information helps you better understand the difference. If you have anything you want to say about AI, drop it in the comments. Let me know. And have a good day. Go to touch grass, feel the breeze, and connect with nature after a video like this. I hope y'all connect with nature. Okay. Have a good day. Bye, y'all.